before the world ever told you who you should be, before your teachers measured your worth with grades, before your parents cast their hopes onto your shoulders, before society tried to shape your dreams to fit inside a job description, you were born with something far greater. A mind, untamed, unwritten, unbreakable. But the tragedy is this: most people never learn to command it. They surrender it to noise, to trends, to the opinions of the mediocre, to the chains of fear dressed up as caution. And they wonder why their life feels like a cage when their mind was made to fly. You weren't put here to follow the program. You were put here to write it. You weren't born to be managed by life. You were born to lead it. There's a war happening not in the streets, not in the markets, not on your phone. It's happening in your mind. And the world? It will try to win that war before you even realize it started. If you don't learn to command your mind, the world will. And let me tell you, the world is relentless. It will feed you headlines soaked in fear before you sip your morning coffee. It will sell you doubt wrapped in shiny packaging. It will whisper. Who are you to try that? And if you're not vigilant, if you're not armored in awareness, you'll believe it. You'll shrink. You'll hand over the keys to your own destiny and say, tell me what to think. Tell me what to fear. Tell me who to become. But no more. Because today, you draw the line. Today, you reclaim the throne. Because the mind is a kingdom, and if you don't rule it, something else will. Your mind is the first battlefield. Every morning you wake up, your thoughts line up like soldiers. Some serve your purpose. Others serve your past. Some build. Others destroy. And you must decide which ones will you command. Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But he never said the mind would conceive greatness on its own. He never said belief would bloom without your labor. He said command. And command is not passive. It's not soft. It's not for the lazy or the lukewarm. Command means you stand in front of the mirror and say, this is my mind, and today it bends to my will. Because the mind is not a master, it's a mirror. It reflects what you feed it. If you feed it excuses, it will serve you limitations. If you feed it fear, it will serve you paralysis. But if you feed it vision, discipline, and unshakable purpose, it will serve you power. So the question is not, can you change your life? The question is, can you command the source of all, change your own mind? Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times to invent the light bulb, but he never once said he failed. He said he found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's the mind commanded. That's what it looks like when you own your story instead of letting the world write it. You want to build a life that ignites you? Start here. Own your inner narrative. Most people are not living their dreams. They're living their doubts, dressed up as realism. They walk around like ghosts in daylight, whispering, I'm too late, I'm too old, I'm too stuck. Number. They're just too afraid to take the throne of their mind and say, this is mine, and I am not done writing. Because here's the truth, that no one wants to say out loud. The world doesn't owe you clarity. It owes you nothing. The chaos out there, it's not going away. So you must become louder within. You must become the stillness in your own storm. You must speak to your thoughts like a leader speaks to their army. We do not retreat when it gets hard. We do not fold when it gets noisy. We move. We decide. We execute. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about presence. Being present enough to hear your mind drift and bring it back. Again and again and again. Because a drifting mind becomes a drifting life. You don't build greatness in one decision. You build it in the 1,000 tiny moments when no one is watching. When your alarm goes off, when the temptation calls, when the doubt creeps in like a fog in your bones, and you still rise. You still choose the version of you that no one else sees. Yet, because commanding your mind is not about being perfect, it's about being committed. You don't have to believe it will all work out. You just have to refuse to quit until it does. Henry Ford was mocked when he said he'd build a car for every family. But he didn't ask for permission to think differently. He built it anyway. Because vision, real vision, is always born in one mind before the world can even recognize it. And that's you. You are the mind before the movement. You are the silence before the symphony. You are the spark before the revolution. But only if you claim it. So, stop letting the world command your mornings. Stop letting your phone decide your mood. Stop letting old fears dictate new dreams. You are the commander. Act like it. No one ever stumbles into mastery. No one drifts their way into greatness. The wind does not carry you to the summit, it tests your will to climb. The universe doesn't reward the passive observer. It moves in rhythm with the bold, with those who command their thoughts before their thoughts command them. Because the mind, your mind, is not just a container of thoughts. It's a forge. It's where fire is born, where direction is chosen, where belief is welded into steel, and that belief, that unbreakable conviction that pulses through your core, it must be chosen daily. Not once. Not when you're motivated. Every morning, every night, every breath between. Because belief is not a gift, it's a muscle. And every time you speak life into your vision, you strengthen it. Every time you silence the voice that says you can't, you cut deeper into the path no one else sees. There will be days when the world screams louder than your vision. Let it scream, but do not let it drown you. You must learn to hear yourself louder than the noise. When the headlines shake the world, when the economy spins, when people point fingers and say, "This isn't possible," you look inward and you say, "This is still my mind. This is still my life, and I decide what's possible here." That's not arrogance. That's command. That's the level Edison had when he saw light in darkness. That's what Carnegie had when he saw empires in dirt and steel. That's what Lincoln had when he stood alone in belief while a nation fell apart. And that's what you must summon. Even when no one claps, even when no one understands, even when you are the only one standing on your battlefield, command isn't loud. It's not ego. It's quiet. It's rooted. It's the unwavering voice inside that whispers, "I know who I am, and I am not done yet." Now listen, discipline is not a cage. It's the door. The door to the life you haven't lived yet. People run from it like it's a punishment. But those who learn to love it, they unlock freedom. Because freedom is not the absence of structure. It's the ability to create it from within. You want to be powerful? Build rituals that serve your highest self. Not routines built on convenience, but ones forged in intention. Wake up like your time is precious, because it is. Speak words that align with your future, because they shape it. Move like you already belong in the place you're going, because your body listens. You are not behind. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You're just waiting for permission. But the truth is, you never needed it. Not from your past. Not from the world. Not even from your fears. The mind you were born with already holds the pen. But the question is, have you picked it up? Have you written the script you want to live? Or are you still reciting the one the world handed you? Rewrite it. Today. Now. This second. Because the world will try to dictate your story, but it can't own it if you take the wheel. And let me be clear. This isn't about being fearless. It's about being more loyal to your mission than your emotions. It's about showing up on the days you feel hollow, on the days when motivation vanishes, and choosing purpose anyway. Disney was told he lacked imagination. Imagine that the man who would build entire worlds was told he couldn't dream. He could have listened, but he chose command. He chose vision. He chose to bet on a mind no one else believed in yet. And that's what separates the few from the forgotten. Not talent, not luck, But the relentless command over one's own thoughts, one's own focus, one's own energy, you have the same tool they did, the same flame, the same capacity for vision. But the world has trained you to ignore it, to outsource your dreams to what's trending, what's safe, what's expected. Don't fall for it. This world doesn't need another copy. It needs the original you, the one that only comes alive when your mind is yours again. So don't just set goals. Don't just try harder. Command, walk into your day like a general walks into war, with precision, with clarity, with resolve. Speak your future like it already knows your name. And when the doubt creeps in, and it will, meet it like a master meets his apprentice, not with fear, but with understanding. Because even your doubt can serve you, if you command it. Let your mind be a sanctuary, not a prison. Let your focus be a weapon, not a weakness. Let your vision be so loud that the world has no choice but to listen. Because when you command your mind, you command your time. You command your energy. You command your life. And suddenly, the world, it no longer commands you. But don't mistake this power for something mystical or abstract. Commanding your mind is not magic, it's mechanics. It's the discipline to notice and the decision to redirect. You notice the fear, you don't become it. You notice the distraction, you don't indulge it. You notice the scarcity, but you live from abundance. Every great mind, every titan of industry, every giant of change, they mastered this pattern. See, decide, move. They didn't wait for the world to go quiet. They didn't need permission from their peers. They decided first, and then they built a life around that decision. Walt Disney wasn't lucky. He was obsessed with vision, obsessed enough to go bankrupt twice, obsessed enough to sleep in his office while the world laughed at a mouse. But the mouse became a symbol, not of cartoons of belief. Belief that one man with one mind can birth a universe if he refuses to let the world write his ending. And what about you? You, with your scars. You, with your doubts. You who have failed more than once and started over more than you care to admit. What's stopping you now? The answer is never the world. It never was. It's the story you've been telling yourself in silence. And you can rewrite it. Not someday. Not when it's convenient. Now. Because clarity isn't found. It's created. It's earned in the quiet hours when you sit with your thoughts and say, what do I really want? Not what they told me I should want. Not what my parents hoped for. Not what society applauds. But me. Clarity is the light you shine inside your own darkness. And the moment you see it, the moment you will realize it was never about what you didn't have. It was about what you never activated. Vision is activation. Purpose is fuel. And action? Action is the language of belief. You don't try your way into a new life. You command your way into it. You wake up every day and say, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. And nothing, no delay, no failure, no voice of doubt, will take that away from me. Commanding your mind means you no longer wait for motivation. You build momentum. You stop seeking inspiration like a drug. You become it. You become the storm. You become the standard. You become the person people look to and whisper, how the hell do they keep going? They don't know that while they sleep, you're programming your mind. They don't know that while they scroll, you're building your fortress. They don't know that every no, every failure, every lonely step, you've turned into bricks. And now you're building a life no one can tear down. That's what command looks like. Not noise, not bravado, not arrogance. Just unshakable clarity in a noisy world. Look around. The world is filled with people asking for less pain, less pressure, less responsibility. Be the one who asks for more strength. Be the one who trains their mind like a soldier, so when life fires its shots, you don't flinch. You don't fold, you lead. And leadership, real leadership, starts with leading yourself. That's the hardest battlefield, but also the most rewarding. When you master that, you don't chase success, you magnetize it. You don't beg for opportunity, you create it. You don't pray for peace. You become it because the storm inside is finally yours. Think of the greats, Da Vinci, Mandela, Churchill, Jobs. They were not just thinkers. They were commanders. Commanders of vision. Commanders of focus. Commanders of identity. They didn't rise by chance. They rose by choice. Repeated. Daily. Ruthlessly. And now it's your turn. Not to wish for more, but to become more. To stop scrolling through other people's victories and start scripting your own. Because no one is coming to crown you king of your mind. You must rise and take the throne yourself. And when you do, when you truly command every thought, every emotion, every instinct, the world will no longer command you. You'll look it in the eye and smile, because you finally remember who's in charge. And this time, it's you. But understand this. Command is not a moment. It is a lifestyle. It is not a motivational spike that fades when the music stops or the video ends. It's what you choose to do after the fire cools. It's how you walk when no one's cheering, how you think when the path is foggy, how you speak to yourself when it feels like you're breaking. That's where real power lives. Not in the spotlight, but in the silence. Not in applause, but in alignment. The alignment between what you say you want and how you show up when it's hard. And it will get hard, because evolution requires resistance. Growth demands discomfort. You don't rise by avoiding the fire. You rise by walking through it and refusing to come out smaller. Most people fear the fire. They think it will burn away their identity. But the fire doesn't burn you down. It burns away what's false, what's fragile, what's borrowed, what was never yours to carry. And what remains? The real you, the uncompromised you, the version of you that doesn't ask, what if, but declares, watch me. That's what happens when you command your mind. You don't chase validation. You don't cling to guarantees. You build conviction, and that conviction moves mountains. Think of Nelson Mandela, 27 years in a prison cell, and his mind never bowed. Because while they locked the man, they couldn't touch the commander. Because you see, no one can enslave a mind that leads itself. No prison is strong enough to hold a liberated inner world. And no failure is final when you still hold the pen. So let them doubt. Let them misunderstand. Let the world spin in chaos. Your job is not to control the storm. Your job is to own the eye of it. To be the calm, the center, the unwavering decision that no matter how loud the world gets, you stay rooted. Because you decided, long before the noise came, you decided to be more than a product of your past. You decided to live awake. And that decision, it's not a whisper. It's a roar. It shakes the foundations of your old life. It tells every limitation, every excuse, every inherited belief, your time is up. This is my mind now. You want miracles? Start there. Start with a clean command. Start with a mind that bows to nothing but purpose. That responds to no signal but vision. That surrenders to no fear. No trend, no narrative, but your own. Because the future belongs to those who lead from the inside out. Not the followers of noise, but the architects of meaning. This world doesn't need more noise. It needs clarity. And clarity is forged in solitude, in silence, in the laboratory of your own awareness. And when that awareness deepens, when your thoughts become tools instead of traps, you stop living in reaction and start living in intention. No more asking, what should I do? You know because you've met yourself.